So how you doing? Hey, today we're going to kind of walk the tree line here and see if we can identify any trees that we want to take for firewood. We got permission, so we're just going to kind of walk the line and see what we want to do. So a lot of these are going to be already on the ground, and we're basically trying to identify them to see what might be worth it, if you know what I mean. So I am not the best at identifying trees, so maybe some of you can help me figure this out. Alrighty. All right, so as you can see about where we're positioned here, this is the first tree we're looking at. I think that's a maple. That'll be the first one up for bid. There's not a whole crazy lot of firewood, but definitely enough to, you know, it's worth it our while. And it's pretty easy access right here off the field. I could bring the truck up here, hook a chain to it, and drag it right out of here. Take it all the way down to the yard if I wanted to. Now we got another one here. Not certain what the species is. There's actually two there. I can't identify that one. It might be a maple or something, but to me, it looks a little too rotten to mess with. So I don't think we'll play with that one. There's another one on the ground beside it there that I don't think we're gonna mess with that one as well. Now, as far as the standing trees here, everything is still alive, so we're gonna leave them be. We're not gonna touch anything here that's standing. So I think this is the only log I might consider taking. It does look like a maple to me. There's a little better view coming down through here where she goes. Probably whack it off right here, drag the first stem out, come up and drag the other stem out. Just chain it out with the truck. All right, so here's the next spot we're looking at. See the pile logs here. This is storm damage. It's one of those things I can't, it's hard for me to tell. I can see a cherry over here in the end, but the rest of it, I don't know. It does look like some poplar in there. So I don't know if it's gonna be worth it, but I do see some cherry. So I think this is gonna depend on, you know, certain things. I'll cut through some of this stuff and see what it is. Maybe we'll just chain it and drag it out of here. You know, there's a nice little pile here. Definitely a couple of truckloads of logs sitting here. So we should probably consider getting into this. Now, as you can see, the fence line is actually up here. So the field used to run up here, but after the storm damage, it kind of creeped down here 10 or 12 feet. So you can see there's more over here. All right, so in this mess here, this top one is definitely a poplar. But on the bottom here, it looks like there's a maple laying there. And in order to get to the maple, I would have to get that poplar. And I think I'm gonna leave it be. I think I'm just gonna let everything be right here. It's not worth the hassle, you know? Maybe take this one stem here off this poplar for testing saws. And there's another one hanging there, but I don't think I'll do anything else with this. Now you can see there's a little busted stem there and a bigger one here. Can't tell from here the species, but I don't think it's poplar. It looks more like oak. So we'll see. We'll know better whenever the leaves come in. Those actually might be oak and worth our while. Now this is our next one that we're gonna drop. As you can see how she comes up here. She's an oak tree. Let me take you up here and show you something. All right, so you see how there's the other stem there, the other tree. As you get up here, you see there's a vine intertwined. So I think when one goes, the other's gonna have to go with it. I think they're gonna have to go together. Well, I mean, the oak would probably pull. There's probably enough weight to the oak that would pull that vine out. So I may not need to worry about it so much getting that oak down. Now, another thing to consider is this limb right here, this bend right here you see, it's bent like that because it's busted. So she's all splintered up right there from this poplar tree, whenever it fell down, it whacked that limb and broke it. So it's just kind of dangling there. So this is one of the ones I've been wanting to get down, and we're going to be getting onto that here soon. Sooner than later. Might be our next one that we take. But this one here, we'll take it and clean it up too, just because it's heavily damaged. There's no point in trying to save it, you know. Now I got this little nub here of a cherry. It had fallen over into the yard, and whenever I cut it off right there, the whole stump stood up, and I just left it. So we'll probably come in here and work at cleaning this guy up. Now this is the most recent tree to come down. It's your maple. You can see she was hollow. This one here was hit by lightning years ago. You can kind of see scarring right there. It runs the whole length. If you look going up there, you see it. But I'm pretty certain this tree is hollow. Probably up to about where it split apart right there. So only the end is good and solid. The rest of this looks like that, which is it really worth the hassle to get into this mess to get that out of there? You know what I mean? There's this other one laying here across there. I'm fairly certain that's a poplar, and I don't think that guy's going to be worth our time. She's a big log though. She's 24 plus, so I bet you she's 28, maybe 30 inches for a good chunk of that. But I'm pretty certain it's poplar, and poplar doesn't make the great firewood like I prefer to have, especially my wood burner with the secondary burn and all that stuff. So I don't think I'm going to do anything with that. In fact, I think I'm going to leave that leaner there. This big one here, he's going to stay put. So in this corner, I think this is all we're going to go after right here. All right, I got this here cherry, but it's not worth the time. It's paper thin hollow, and there you can see there's all sorts of junk in here. This is the top end of that maple, so I mean, if I wanted to, I could come in here and get a little bit of the wood, but I don't know if I'm going to mess with that, to be honest. So we'll see. But this one here that's leaning, I do plan on getting that out of there. I do believe it's poplar, and I'm thinking if I can get it out of there, my plan is to hook a chain to it up here and yank the stump straight out this way, and hopefully she snaps off up top. My plan is to get it out of there and use that for saw testing. So I'm hoping to get that out of there. We'll see. Now we got this one here that's got the holes in it. I think that's a locust. She's dead. Well, not dead, but she's close to it. So we're probably gonna end up taking it out of there, just because whenever I pull that big leaner, it's gonna take that guy out anyway. So we might as well go ahead and take it, you know what I mean? I don't think it'll survive it. So we might even just wait and see if he survives the trip of trying to get this guy out, but we'll see how that goes. But I think it's gonna come out regardless. Now, if you look here, we got a big branch snapped off and holding on by a thread right here. In fact, the only thing holding it up is how the limbs are intertangled up there. So I think what I'm gonna do is just take a little notch of a cut in it, hook it up with a chain, and yank it out, just to get it out of there. You know what I mean? It might become saw testing wood or something, but we'll see how that goes. But that one there is definitely going to come out. This here, there's actually two here. This is what's leaning over the yard right here. You can see it just doesn't want to grow grass, and I'm thinking about taking them out just to help the yard growth. You know what I mean? Just because, you know, they're heavily leaning over here over the grass. They put a lot of shade over here, so I'm thinking about getting them out of there just because of that. And right beside it here is looks like a locust, dead. Should definitely come out. She's got holes all through it from the woodpeckers, you know. So we'll definitely look at getting that thing out of there. Now here's the other group I'm thinking about getting. We are on the far end of the lawn right now. Think about getting these guys out of here. They are heavily branched over into the yard. And I want to get all of this up to here growing nice and green all the way out through the field. So just imagine our line down through here. This is what I'm looking at doing. So I'm thinking those guys are going to end up coming as well. They do look to be cherry, or two of them do. The other one there, I'm not certain, but it might be, yeah, there's three of them in the same spot there. But I think those are cherry. Now there's a little locust stem here. It's nice, tall and straight. It's probably going to come out as well. It looks like it's getting near its end. So we'll probably look at taking it as well. Now from here out is where we're going to need some machines to do it. You can see we got like mounds of dirt everywhere through here. So this is going to require a machine to come through here. Now if you look at this, we got a nice big locust right there, but the stump, she is hollow, starting to crumble. You probably can't see it through the reeds here, but yeah, she's going to have to come one of these days. So we got a lot of firewood right there, depending on how hollow it is. I can definitely tell it's hollow at the stump though. So we got a couple more locusts right here. There's three of them, 1, 2 there, and another one over here. They're all three going to come down eventually. We got vines all through them and everything, but I do think I'm going to end up taking them as well. Good firewood, you know. And since I want to clean up this property line right here, remember, here's the edge of the field, but at one time it was all the way up here. So I'm losing 15 feet or so now because over time it's kind of wandered down. But I got to get a machine through here to get through this because there's dirt mounds like this the whole way down through. And I think a skid steer could probably do a pretty good job. The weeds, I'd probably just drag them out into the field, set them on fire. It's mostly all briars, thorns and everything. I wouldn't even bring a brush hog through here because there's just so much debris laying. So definitely a skid steer job. Here's an old, looks like an ash bucket. I can remember seeing that bucket when I was a kid. It's been here forever. I don't know if you guys can tell, there is a trail right here. Gets a lot of use. Deer come through here. And I mean, if you look right there, they got it all tore up. So just to give you an idea, the deer are right here all the time. Now here is a big ugly one. Look at this. I'm already zoomed in as far as I can go. You probably can't tell, but those vines have really sunk into that tree. Looks like a locust, but those vines, man, they're tearing the crap out of that tree. They're embedded in there so much. We're gonna end up taking that guy one day. So over here's, you know, several other locusts we're gonna end up taking. So, you know, are you keeping count? Locust, locust, locust. We'll even take that little stem right there that busted off. More briars, more dirt mounds to work on. A lot more. So here's a nice big locust covered in vines again. That guy is every bit of 20 inches at the base, maybe 24. That's a big one. I think that's the biggest one, the biggest locust on here, or out here near the property or whatever. But there's another one over here that we could take. There's another one right there, little nub of one. This guy here, I would try to save it if I could, but it'll probably end up getting destroyed by taking these other trees down, because most of these trees along the edge here I'm planning on taking. Now we have this log here, probably going to end up being just for test wood. I don't know what species it is, but it's just laying here. Probably a poplar, but yeah, we'll use that up. Probably test wood. You can see here's a big tree that fell down a few years back. Another one right there. I can remember coming out here and cleaning these up. They were spread out across the field here behind me. Now over here, we got a family of poplars. I probably won't touch those. There's a cherry there. I'm not gonna touch it. He's pretty good. This looks like it might have been a maple, that log that fell. I bet you I could hook a chain up to that and just yank it right between those trees and use it for test wood. So we're probably gonna do that. We'll get that guy out of there. Just use him for testing, saw testing. Here's one of the deer trails. You can see where they've been coming down through. Come through here, we got footprints right there. And here, you can see they're coming out down here at the far end of the field, but not quite to the end. Here's another view for you from out here. Good old farmland, right? So now we're here on almost to the far corner. This is where the field ends and the briars start. We've already been down here and cleared a bunch of trees a while back. So I have plans for this. I'm planning on cleaning this up, all these briars. You see this tree right here? I'm gonna put a permanent tree stand at this tree, and that'll be overlooking this area. About 50-yard shot for my crossbow. I think that's what I'm gonna do right here. And this will be my after work hunting spot. Now pretty much everything back here I'm gonna let alone. There is one back here that's leaning like here. It's actually leaning up over the road. I might go in after it, but pretty much everything else I don't plan on touching. I'm gonna leave it alone. Now my property line comes right here, straight down. The road's over here and it kind of has a curve to it and it goes out there, and when the two meet, that's the corner. So this little bit here is mine. Not a lot, but I got enough here to put a permanent tree stand. You know, I have 2 tree stands. I'll send one of them up there. I'm gonna even make myself a little ladder stand, just leave it there permanently. Probably up there about where those branches are. I'll definitely have to clear out some briars though. I'm thinking about planting a couple of, you know, trees of certain types here. And I'm thinking about planting a field of a certain type here. So, you know, I am considering that. Between the trees and the field, do I need to raise beef? Is the question. So this is the old road down here that we're walking. This is the old rail line. Back in, I think it was the mid 1800s when this was running. So, you know, this is basically the edge of the property line, this rail line. Now this stuff here is not mine. This actually, to be honest, this belongs to, this stuff actually belongs to somebody who does not own the property. Because this farmer owns that property up to the road here. I own the other side, but the guy who owns this stuff lives way up yonder. He must have some sort of connection with the farmer. This is that tree I was just showing you that's leaning over, kind of over the road here. We might come back here one of these days and grab it. And this cherry here is starting to get rotten. So we might go after it one of these days too. But yeah, I don't plan on really touching anything else here. In my property corner, you see the posted signs, but right there where they meet on the road is the corner. Right there. So yeah, I got a little bit property here. It's not a crazy amount, but you know, it's enough for me to be happy. Now I'm walking back the road here, as you can see, and this is an area that I'm gonna clean all this mess up, all of it. And my plan is to go dogwoods, the flowering dogwoods, and just start them off. every maybe 20 feet, the whole way down around, all the way to the far edge of the property, basically following the driveway. What this is all grass, flowering dogwoods, a couple of special trees, if you know what I mean, for a certain purpose. But that's my plan right now. I keep thinking about it, and I think if I do this right, I may not even need to think about raising beef at all. There is a lot of traffic from deer right here, and all I gotta do is get them to hang out, you know? Now, I don't plan on taking all those trees at once. Maybe 2 or 3 of them a year. That's it. I'm not going to take them all at once and then burn all that wood the next year. No thanks. It's a lot of work, you know. It's going to be something that I spread out over several years. So that's my plan. I mean, those trees have been there for years. They're going to be there for more years until I get to them, you know? So that's the plan. But I thought you guys would like this. Kind of a little walk to see some tree projects we're going to be doing in the future. You know what I mean? So here, let me show you this. Now I got a little update for you here. This is the firewood I have left to get stacked. That's it. So we're going to work at getting that done tomorrow probably. But I plan on taking a tree down tomorrow. That big one, I'm really thinking about taking it down tomorrow. So we might tackle that, but this is where our firewood logs are going to go. The whole triaxle load. And the logger got a hold of me yesterday. He wants to come up and take a look at the spot, make sure he's good to go. He just likes to check new spots out beforehand. He doesn't want to pull his truck up into a driveway without that he's going to damage, you know what I mean? He's got a big heavy truck, and I don't blame him. It can save him a lot of pain and suffering in the end. But he's coming tomorrow to check out the spot. This is where they're going to be sitting. I am going to try to have him sit the edge of them probably about here somewhere, because as we cut them, we can split them and stack them, and then kind of work our way down, follow it with the splitter, stack them the whole way down to the end. And that tree over there, I think I'm going to move the picnic table down to that tree. I'm thinking about it. Maybe a different table of some sort, but I'm planning on putting a table of some sort right there. That tree gives a lot of shade in the summertime when you're working, and it's fantastic to be at this spot to work all morning. Because of all this, it's all shade. You don't get any sun until like noon or maybe early afternoon, but then you got all this shade coming, so you know, you don't get, this is the track of the sun right here. He comes up and over, down and around to there. So there's only a few hour time span where we got to deal with the sun, and it's great to have a table right there, a place to cool off. See, the last time I was doing firewood here, I would park my truck up there to work off the tailgate, and you can see the evidence. If you guys have been here for a while, and you remember me working firewood out here, you can see I had the wood going all through here. So yeah, it was awesome. Just this time, I think the logs are going to start about here, about the edge of that sawdust, and run up probably about to where that branch is laying. Maybe not quite that far, but yeah, it might actually go that far. He said it takes 25 foot square, and I don't think I'm quite 25 feet wide, but I think he can get them in here. I think he can do it. They might be out here close to the road or something, but I think he can get them in here safely. So that's what we're going to go with. So he's going to swing by this weekend, check everything out, make sure he's good to go, and the logs will be coming. Alrighty. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little tour of my little future forestry project I got coming. I don't know when I'll get to it. It's something, you know, just something I thought you guys might enjoy, something to look forward to in future videos, because they're coming. It's, you know, everything is getting lined up, and these projects are coming. I can tell you one thing though, I'm looking at this lawn and we haven't mowed it yet, but if I'm not mowing this weekend, I'm mowing next weekend for certain. So the first mowing is coming, which is just fantastic, right? Alrighty, so hey, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.